Hey, Tori.
Hi.
Hey, peace and blessings.
Is your video on?
Yes.
Really? I don't
Hey,
see you.
you don't see me? Hold on.
No, I don't.
Hold on, let me look. Can you see me now?
Oh, yeah, I can see you now.
Hey, Tori.
Hi, how are you?
What's going on?
Nothing much. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Pleasure to hear from you. I love your background.
Oh,
What is
thank
that,
you.
a rug or is that artwork?
It's a tapestry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
nice.
my eye, it'll drift out because I had eye surgery and I have a lazy eye, just so you know.
Okay,
In
Capita, how
case
you
that,
doing?
freaks you out. I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. Okay, so you told me that you do workshops for stepping.
Yes.
So you're the
Yes.
teacher?
Yes.
Okay, so then people pay to do the work, to participate in the workshops? Is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay, so do you, when you do these workshops, are they at a specific place in Chicago? Like, are you located in Chicago or do you travel?
I travel, but I'm located in Chicago. Like now, I'm doing classes at a place called Harper Square,
Okay.
which is right down the street from Obama's residence. And I do that. I have a 6 weeks class that's going on now, which averages maybe about 20 to 25 people
Okay.
every class. Sometimes it could be more,
Okay.
depending on their schedule.
Yeah.
I do workshops. I travel a lot and do workshops out of town.
Okay.
I've been to Oakland, Cleveland, St. Louis, Detroit, Chicago, Los Angeles, Baltimore, San Diego,
Okay.
Oakland, San Francisco, Harlem in New York.
Yeah, so you travel a lot.
Just really doing a plethora of classes. And like I say, my strong point is basic fundamentals of the dance. And many times people teach various classes, but they may be teaching their own style or technique.
Yeah.
They don't actually teach fundamentals, and I'm more or less a fundamental type of guy. I can watch a person dance, and I know exactly where that originated from.
Right.
Yeah.
So, could you talk to me a little bit about your background and how you got into stepping and teaching it?
Yes. Maybe about 19 years ago. I was actually working in law enforcement. I had just graduated from the academy.
Okay.
And a young lady saw me come to work in uniform. And she originally walked up to me. She said, "Do you step?" I was like, "No, I don't." I said, "Well, I fake it till I make it." And she was like, "You need to know how to step." She said, "Because I like the way you dress." And she said, "You know what? I have a friend that has a class every Saturday, and I'd like for you to meet me there." And at that particular point, we exchanged numbers, and I went to the class, and it just started from there.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, so you started out taking lessons?
Yes.
So how did you go from taking lessons into being a teacher of stepping? And what made you want to pursue stepping?
Well, the two individuals that were actually teaching the class was very thorough, but they were very good steppers, and they were very well known. So it was really, at the time that I took the class, I wasn't really familiar with them. But as I was in the class, I saw so many people coming through the class who really gave them great praise. And when I would go out and see them dancing, they just got a lot of respect in the dance and social community. So I just really took that energy to say, well, you know what? I really want to learn from these guys.
Yeah.
And I just really stayed in the fundamentals of it. So one of the guys got promoted on his job, but he couldn't work there on Saturdays anymore. And the other guy that was actually the guy, he walked up to me and said, "Would you like to start working with me on Saturdays and be an instructor?" And I was like, "Well, I really don't know." He said, but you know your basics. He said, "I need a basic instructor. I need someone who knows their basics well." He said, "You've been here for over 6 months." He said, "You know your basics well. I've watched you." And he said, even the young lady who was actually teaching the basic class said, if anybody, you need to use this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that opportunity to go up under his wing, and then that's when I really started learning how to teach it, how to understand the complexities of it, and then just had a niche or an eye to kind of analyze, when people were doing something wrong, when it was right, and just grew up in it.
Yeah. So if you could explain stepping, and I mean, I have definitely researched stepping because this is a big project that we've been working on, but if you had to explain stepping and what it means to someone who didn't know, what would you say?
I would say stepping is like salsa is to people from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
I would say stepping is like African dance is to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I would say stepping is like the waltz is to France or Europe. I would say stepping is like tango is for those who enjoy tango. Stepping is that dance that originates from a culture that allows them to express the ultimate part of their, I want to say social atmosphere, but it also is resonated in the music that has actually been designed within that culture. Because each culture, whether it's tango, ballroom, or whatever, there's a particular music that follows that.
Yeah.
And R&B music actually is the reason why stepping is the way it is, because we follow that music, and that music relates within that particular concept of dance.
Yeah. So when you teach a class, are you selecting the music? And if so, what kind of music is your favorite to play and why?
Yes, normally it's going to be R&B. It's going to be something that's lyrical. It's going to be something that expresses some form of the Isley Brothers, the OJs, the Whispers, Frankie Beverly and Mays. You're going to have the Shy-Lights. You're going to have a lot of older genre music. Al Green, Barry White, Isley Brothers, that type of genre. Within this new modern era, you will find that we lean towards Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Anthony Hamilton. You can have some form of John Legend. You can have a little bit of R. Kelly, because he actually originates out of Chicago. So, he's formulated some music in that particular aspect. You can have Anthony Hamilton. You can still, we still geared towards Gladys Knight and the Pips, Diana Ross, Marvin Gaye, those particular songs. And then a lot of jazz.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of jazz such as Al Jarreau and a lot of the prolific jazz singers that actually carry a soulful sound that actually meshes with the dance itself.
Yeah. So when you're teaching the classes, who would you say is like the age group and not just the age group, but who goes to the classes? Like what is their cultural background? Who are they?
Normally you will find so-called African Americans that's actually the soul of the particular dance itself.
Mm-hmm.
But within the last 10 years, I find a lot of Spanish, European. I've seen Africans that are coming into the dance because of the relationship between African beats and Africa. Like even some form of rap, positive rap, depending on who the artist is, actually exude some form of the soulful rhythms in stepping.
Mm-hmm.
Stepping never gets into like crazy rap, but it has to be something like LL Cool J. You can get to Gang Starr. You can get to elements of Run DMC. You can get into Will Smith, even in the rap game.
Yep.
You can get into Tupac. You got Biggie, and that's the younger generation that's coming in, which we call a form of stepping. What they call it new school, which adds a different flavor. It's sped up a little bit, but it's a lot more terms, which they use Spanish or salsa terms, mambo, maybe ballroom terms, consistent with the dance. So, like you can get a variety of different artists that actually play a major role in how the dance is actually being developed now.
Okay. And one last question. How would you, what would you say the importance of stepping is in relation to Chicago?
Well, like Chicago is the birth of stepping. Is where it originated from, twine time, and then they came into what you call the bop, and then out of the bop came what you call stepping. So it carried through, but through different genres of music, different changes of music, then it started to change and develop into where it is today. So the culture itself, the African American culture of rhythm, African beats, it has evolved the dance because the music has changed. And with change of music came a different concept of the dance, and that's what it really is today.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to add other than like what I've talked about, or just like any final closing statement on the dance form and your relation to it?
Yes, the dance itself is prolific in its nature. It has been one of the dances that have yet to be discovered by, I want to say, mainstream America. Many people know of it, but many people have yet to step into the trenches of it to see how well it's designed, the format of it, how it relates to every other dance. And it actually should be one of those dances that you see in competition with Dancing with the Stars or anything of that nature. The dance right here is, it takes skill, it takes creativity, it's tonation, time, listening to music. And I guarantee you could have formal competitions in dance form on any level, and you could bring somebody in to come in and step, and it would intrigue the entire crowd. The music itself is so soulful that most people, even Caucasian people that have actually participated and learned to dance, they come to the parties more so than going to other parties. I know a guy, he took ballroom and tango, and he said he enjoys coming out stepping because the music is so soulful. It draws people back into that reality, and it is a community forming type of dance, whereas love, peace, and harmony is like that whole core of the design of the dance. Yeah. So, like I say this in closing, I guarantee you, within maybe the next decade, you'll hear about stepping being in the same genres, ballroom or waltzing or tango. And I guarantee you that it would be in any competition. It would be a part of any Dancing with the Stars. It would be people teaching individuals how to do this dance as one of the genres of dance. It has a criteria, it has a critique, it has a what's the word I want to say? It has a lesson plan to it that actually should be a part of any college course. It should be any part of dance when it comes to high schools or junior high schools. It should be a part of the culture in that particular aspect.
Okay.